these, okay? So basically the setup wise, I think when we get yourself set to the golf ball, we've got to start off with it like this, turn it to 11 o'clock. If it starts slicing on the range, just turn it to like 10, whatever. It doesn't matter what it goes to. Just make sure you see a hook. If you get 2 slices, just hook the next one. Okay, how far left it goes, just get a right to left spin. So you just get out of that habit of wanting to maybe, I'll just try and swing a little bit further left. Just get you out of going back into over the top, which obviously we definitely want to avoid, okay? But in terms of the swing, shaft there, say leaning back a little bit. Grip there, for me, is a bit weaker than what we would want to be. It's not weak in terms of the textbook, but you're someone who returns the club back a bit more kind of like DJ-esque rather than Jordan Spieth-esque. It's personal what we do, okay? Your neutral is a little bit stronger than the norm, should we say, which is not a bad thing, okay? As you were going back to the top of the backswing here now, turning back there, okay? The backswing is certainly better. That club now, not kind of so far behind you. But as you come back into impact here now, okay? The ball is kind of still there, and your hands, you can see, have gone back to vertical. So when they start behind the golf ball here, if your hands are behind the ball and they go to forwards, as they should do, okay, and the club face is there, that ball's going to go to the right, yeah? So if I explain that there, if I got the club back here, and then my hands come back here, there's the club face. It's going to open up, you see. So that's why we need to start with that club face a little bit more vertically up that way. So when you do this thing on the right hand side with the club face being closed, you put it down there and then push those hands as forward a little bit. That way there. That shaft is still leaning back a smidge. Within a window, it's kind of okay, all right? Ideally speaking, you could go a bit further forward, okay? But as we get the golf club back here now, as you come back here, your hands then come back to that similar kind of impact position there and there, yeah? When the ball's still there, when the ball now is gone. Because your hands are here now and you've held the club in that position, you come back the club and the hands are the ball's gone. Whereas this, when you're back here, moving the hands forward, but the club now's opened up as a result, left behind, create that kind of slice spin, cut spin. So if you're starting some cutty ones on the range, just turn it to 10 o'clock night, whatever it may be, get a hooky one. Through the ball then now, fairly decent and relaxed sort of follow through. Nothing really been major wrong with your follow through in some ways. It's all been a fairly decent move. But the hands are going to want to be coming back into impact, leading slightly. Exactly. You want to get that club face back in the ball because you've got this sort of impact position where the lead shoulder, the elbow, the hand and the club are in line. If you start off behind the ball and you're too far leaning back, as you said, and at impact, your hands are going to be kind of here, yeah? Yeah.
But it should be like that.
No, that's what they want to be here, you see. You start off here. If your grip is weak or not so strong, when you push your hands forward, the club face now will open, especially at the speed you've got, which is why you want to start with a bit more kind of there, which is when you look at it, your hands are way in front because your head's behind the ball. As we said, look at the iPad was in front of us looking this direction back to you, yeah? The club was vertical. So it's going to be worth practicing, getting some swings. And that's the impression. The reason why, if I draw some lines on you to hopefully make this make sense, right? If we come back to setup, okay? So the blue lines represent now the position of your body, okay? And the ball position, okay? So the ball position is forward, yeah? The spine is slightly leaned back and the shaft there is fairly vertical, okay? Your irons, the shaft now is going to be leaning forward, okay? Because the ball is back in the stance slightly. And your spine angle will be less leaning, okay? But you've still got that same kind of... If I move that green line this way to the blue one, it moves the green one to the blue one the other way. Yes, so it's tipping this way or that way. So there's driver, there's iron. It's still the same angle in here between the club shaft and your spine, yeah? So it's not as if, the hands are behind the ball for a driver, yeah? You push the handle forward because the ball's forward and your spine now is behind the golf ball slightly, yeah? Hitting up on the ball. Then with the driver, so with the irons, you move the ball back. My spine angle slightly changes. My hands and arms in the same relative angle. The ball's further back, which gives the impression now that my hands are further forward. They're in the same relative further forwardness, shall we say, as they are with any club in the bag, just depending on where you position the golf ball. It gives a different perception, yeah? Does that kind of make sense drawing the lines on there, hopefully? Yeah. Because obviously we don't want to have the hands with the driver. We don't want your hands to be with the driver leaning back here, because then when they do push them forwards here, the face is going to get wide open, and usually the big old cutty banana one, yeah? That's why we set up with the grip slightly differently positioned on the club, because the club's slightly further forward to start with, yeah? So if I put the club, for example, too far forward, how would you hold the golf club there now? Where would your thumbs want to be on the club? They want exactly, yeah? Now if you keep holding the club and I bring it back here, how awkward, leave the head there, How awkward does that feel now at setup? Yeah, don't feel right, does it? So you tend to turn your hand the other way, yeah, and you adjust it that way. So it's finding that kind of your neutral edge, where you get the club in the position that you want to be in, so your hands can return back, hitting that golf ball with the hands on top of the club head and a square club face, yeah, not the wide open slice. Okay, buddy?